Okay, so tonight we're going to work on this tile, and we'll see if we're using the same colors, we'll just add them over here as well. So I have here Naples yellow, yellow ochre, cadmium red light, alizarin crimson, Prussian blue, and titanium buff. And I have two small brushes. One is round and the other one is flat or bright. But as long as you can, use it to make a line or to use it flat this way to paint. And this one as well, just for little maybe lines or details. So basically two little ones, two small ones, round and flat. So I'm going to start painting from this part right here underneath the this saucer. All right, so with this, I'm going to start with alizarin crimson. And what I'm going to do is put a little bit of yellow ochre in my alizarin crimson, so that will just kind of give it a little bit more of an earthy tone, and titanium buff. So we don't want a thick, strong, or dark color. We want a color that is dark, but at the same time it looks faded. So I'm going to start, and once I put the color, if I find that it's too dark, then I will just glaze some titanium buff over it. Okay, so now I've done this. I have here purple, and then I'm going to get another line of the same. Titanium buff helps making the alizarin crimson a little bit more softer. I like the idea of glazing so it's not heavy. Oops. Got some blue in here. And now the position of the spoon is different, a little bit different from the reference we're using, because we're using two references, we're not using one. Okay, that's good. Now I'm going to take cadmium red light, and I'll pause so you can get to this, because it's a bit confusing, when you look at it, it's not that that easy to see all of these lines. So I'm going to give you some time. That's cadmium red light with alizarin crimson. A little bit of alizarin crimson. And I will go back. Oh, that needs, you know what? Add to it titanium buff. Yeah, that's better. This is a wider pattern in the red. I think what I'm going to do after is put a bit of a little bit of glaze over to tone it down over the whole thing. Maybe we'll see. And of course, it doesn't have to look exactly the same, and it won't look exactly the same. All right. Since I'm using red, I'm going to do the flowers in here in red. So I don't have to do it again. Let's take some alizarin crimson for now with red. Yeah. So we have the dark ones. Then we have dark red here.
Leon?
Mm-hmm.
What red is that? I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Which one?
The red.
Red is alizarin
Yes.
crimson and cadmium red light.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. One more. Okay. I'll do anything, like I'm going to paint anything that has dark red in it. And then I'll pause. Okay. All right, one more. Big one here. And then some over here. And these ones have a little bit more of the titanium buff. Actually, I'm going to take a little bit of cadmium red light and do these lines in here. Alizarin crimson again. Now, so most of the red is done here. I'll just kind of tidy up a bit the lines that are messy, and then I'll move on to another color. So I'll make sure that all of these lines are pointing into somewhat the right direction. And then I'll add another layer in cadmium red light. So now I'm just going to pick up cadmium red light. And add it to these right here. This one here is so delicate. The one in the corner. All right. Okay, and one more. I think we're good. A glaze of cadmium red light. Okay. I'm gonna pause. Okay, so for this part right here, I mixed alizarin crimson with a tiny bit of the Prussian blue and lots of titanium buff. And I got this beautiful purple color right there. Beautiful kind of pastel color. And I put it right here, in here, and all around this area here. This is just titanium buff. I just cleaned it up with titanium buff. So now what I'm doing is I'm using my Naples yellow, just Naples yellow, nothing else. And I'm going to put a yellow line over on this side. It's a soft yellow. And this way I can fix any imperfection in the lines that I did here. Fix them up a bit. Again. Right there. What I also did, I took titanium buff and kind of gave it, here, I'm just going to push this in so you can see what I'm doing with the colors. Titanium buff, dry brush, and I just went over the reds on the sides, on the side of the tile, just to give it that rough edge on both sides. Now, I'm going to use yellow ochre, and I'm going to put in the yellow ochre a bit of Naples yellow. Let's put some water in here. That gives me a beautiful earthy tone, earth tone yellow. I'll put it here. And over here. Now, there is a thin line in between, which is an off-white color line between the two yellows. If I can't put it right now, if I'm trying to keep that line showing, but if you can't, that's okay. Once it's dry, add titanium buff, a line of titanium buff in between to separate them a bit.
Between the two yellows?
Yeah, between the two yellows. There's a very thin line. Okay. Same yellow. I'm going to see if there is any yellow on the other side of the on the other tile. I'm adding a little bit more of the yellow ochre in here. Okay, there is a bit right there. Oops. And all right, I'm just going to put one here, one there. So any yellow you see, add the yellow ochre and a bit of Naples yellow. I'm going to put a bit more yellow, Naples yellow in here so you can see, we can see it. There. Right. All right. There is some yellow ochre here, and actually yellow ochre and Naples yellow. I'm going to put this yellow, change it to yellow. Okay. Now there's another yellow down here, but I'm not going to do it right now. I'm going to put the blue, white, blue, and then I'll see if I have room for the yellow at the bottom.
The very light yellow, what color it is again, Leah?
Light yellow right here.
Yes.
Naples yellow.
Oh, Naples yellow.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Okay. Now, we're going to take Prussian blue and a lot of titanium buff. It gives me this beautiful light blue. I come here. I will be adding some of the specks of dark color that I have on the tile. Once I'm done, okay, this might be a little bit too wide, so that's okay. Once I start using white, I will make it narrower. Another one down here, blue. Okay, let's take titanium buff and a little bit of that blue that'll be we're using, and just kind of put this light kind of bluish color. Oh, tiles, these kind of tiles are not perfect. That's why they're beautiful. This is just titanium buff right now, round brush, and just kind of make dab around, all around the tile, dab in this titanium buff to give it a weathered look. Actually, I'm gonna dab a bit here too. And I'm gonna do some, this is a bit too much, too light, too dark, too much of a red. So I'm gonna take a bit of red, titanium buff, lots of titanium buff. I know it's not on the, it doesn't look like this on the in the reference, but I think it needs to be kind of a little bit muted. That's better. And the last thing I'm going to do is again some yellow ochre, Naples yellow, and put the last one here, the last color. You know what? I'm going to add some titanium buff to this, a little bit. we have 10 minutes. I'm going to add some brown color, so some burnt umber. Can't find my burnt umber, so I'm going to use raw umber. This is a very dark burnt umber, just burnt umber. Now I'm going to take, light is coming from left, so I'm going to take white. And highlight part of it. I'm going to zoom in.
Those intended to be scratches?
They are dense.
Imperfection.
Dense in the, yeah, dense in
Okay.
the stone itself. And, you know, just to make it look like it's kind of a how do you say, a hole, kind of a little hole.
Oh, okay.
Right? In the yeah. So actually, if you look carefully, I should be taking red, white, lots of white, but that has red in it. And for this one here, let's say, because it's on red, and just give it a little bit of that. And again, on that one here, instead of white, there. On the yellow one, same. Take yellow, lots of white in my yellow, in the yellow color. Wipe my brush and put the highlight over on one side. This one here too it should have some yellow in it too. And you have, because it's irregular, the dent is not straight, you will see a little bit more of, sometimes more of this strong white in certain areas. You know, maybe over here, then it stops, and then you have here, because it's irregular, it's not on the same level. This is blue. I'll take a little bit of blue, put it in the white, strong white, and then just kind of on one side where the sun is hitting, it's hitting from the left. It's like the moon, you know, when you look at the moon, you see those, the dents in the moon, and you can see light where it hits the top of the dent. You will see more light in there. Okay, good. Next week we'll finish this and we'll work on that one here. This is a little bit too dark right there from, you know, all big dent of dark. So I'm going to take raw umber and let's put titanium buff and raw umber. And instead of having a very dark one all the way, I'm going to have dark on the left hand side. And then on this side, I'm going to add a little bit of dark raw umber with titanium buff. You will still get some dark, actually light on this side. So the small ones, it's okay. It's dark and then you have a light, dark and then you have light. But on the big one, you will see a little bit more of the light color, not colored, I mean light hitting this area. It's wider, it's bigger. So the white will spread, not the white, sorry, the light will spread. All right. I think it's enough. There. Okay, so we are good for this week. Next week we'll continue with the tiles, finish the tiles, and then move on to the cup, teacup or coffee cup.